What's up guys, it's CG. So this is going to be a thorough review of Another 13 by the house of Labo. First I'm going to give you guys a rundown so you have a general idea what the fragrance is about. Then I'm going to share with you how users rated the scent profile and the performance. My wife and I are going to share our first impressions of it. And finally, I'm going to share my overall opinion after wearing it. Without further ado, let's get this started. So Labo was actually commissioned by Another magazine to produce an exclusive scent. Another magazine is a fashion and cultural magazine, and it kind of goes into explaining the scent profile. Another 13 is a very unique scent. A lot of people actually say it smells like magazine paper. My wife once called it clean human. There aren't too many notes listed on Labo's website, but what they do have listed is ambroxide, which is a synthetic animal musk, jasmine, and moss. On average, users rated the scent a 7.4, which really isn't a high score compared to some of the other fragrances I've reviewed on this channel. And if you look at the distribution of ratings, you can see that this is a pretty polarizing fragrance. Exactly half of people gave it an 8 or above, and the other half gave it a 7 or lower. So there's kind of like a 1 out of 2 chance that you're really gonna like the scent profile. When it comes to longevity, it got an average rating of a 7.8, which is decent. And again, 63% of voters gave it an 8 or above, and the other 37% gave it a 7 or lower, meaning people are pretty divided on the performance of this fragrance. When it comes to projection, it received an average rating of a 6.9. 65% of users rated it a 7 or lower, and about 35% would rate it an 8 or higher. So again, it's divided, but it seems like people are leaning towards this isn't really a projection fragrance. So to summarize, this is a polarizing fragrance, and it seems pretty polarizing not just in how it smells but also in how it performs. So the best way I could describe this fragrance to somebody is a newly treated swimming pool on a hot summer day, and if you were to be walking by the swimming pool and in the air you can detect that clean pool smell, that would be one of the ways I would describe it, and probably the easiest way, if you can imagine that. I feel like you're getting an idea of where I'm coming from. It doesn't smell like a swimming pool because it's almost like that clean smell in the best way possible. It's also very subtle. The other ways I would describe the scent is like if you were to open up a brand new book and smell the pages of the paper, or go into like a library and get that atmospheric smell of the library, almost that new book smell. And another way I would describe it is if it just rained and you can smell the rainwater in the air. All these combined in the best way possible, that subtlety, that's the way I would describe Another 13. It's almost like the art of subtlety. The fragrance almost has a very sterile vibe. It's what I imagine the waiting room at a dentist office would smell like. It's kind of evoking those memories, or just an office space in general, the type of room spray they would use in like a deeply professional setting. The vibe I get wearing it is like I'm an agent in the Matrix. That's the type of vibe it gives me, just very clean cut suit, lack of personality. I understand that like some people, to them this fragrance is nuclear, and some people they can barely smell it at all. I'm one of those. It's hard for me to smell it. It almost feels like a slight flavor of the air around me, but it doesn't really feel like a cologne at all.
Another 13. I need to do a double spray because I don't know if I'm smelling it. I can barely smell anything, like at all. I can't detect it. Can you? I can't detect it. I smell nothing.
Like at all?
At all.
It smells like a magazine, the inside of a magazine.
I was gonna say maybe I'm smelling the test strip.
It smells like a magazine paper.
Yeah, I guess it's like very subtle. That's what you get. It's like a very, very, very subtle. What does a magazine smell like? Ink and plastic or paper? I give it a 3.
So if you were wearing this and I walk by and smell this on you, I would think you smell great. I could even compliment you, but it's interesting. It so doesn't smell like a cologne. I'd literally say you smell good, like you as a human being smell good, not the cologne you're wearing smells good. This to me smells good. It's nice and clean, but it's not for me at all. It's actually one of the few fragrances that made me cringe wearing it. And it's just, I like things very natural and close to the earth. And this is like postmodernism in a bottle, because like the scents you're getting are like paper and swimming pool and all that, and I just didn't want to smell like paper. It actually made me feel kind of sick. Like, it just is not for me at all. It's not my style at all. I love the grassy greens and the bright oranges and the citrus and the ocean air. I don't really like paper and slight chlorine smell, like I'd been in the swimming pool for 4 hours and didn't take a shower afterwards. Also, just the idea of paying $200 for a bottle of this and barely being able to smell it would actually like be really upsetting for me. So all that to be said, it's not for me at all, but I think everybody should sample it because there's nothing else like it out there. And if it's for you, you're not gonna turn people off smelling like this. This smells great. I'm sure it would garner a lot of compliments, but at the end of the day, I would be really upset if I just blind bought a $200 bottle of this. Feel free to comment with y'all's opinions and subscribe for future content.